Naomi Sterling never thought her 25th wedding anniversary would end with a signature instead of a kiss. The hall glittered that night. Silver ribbons, white roses, champagne glasses catching the soft light. Everything shimmered as if trying to honor the years she and Darren Price had shared. Friends clapped, music played, and for a brief moment she almost forgot the whispers, the lies, the strange late-night calls. She wanted to believe they could find their way back. Then Darren stood up, tapping his glass. His smile was wide, confident. Too confident. He raised his glass and said, 25 years is a long time, long enough actually. The room went still. Laughter faded into a confused hush. I've realized, he continued, that I want something new. Someone young. Naomi, you deserve peace. You'll need to move out of the condo tomorrow. For a second the words didn't register. They floated in the air, soft and unreal, until they hit her chest like stones. Gasps rippled through the guests. Someone dropped a glass. Behind him, his mother, Celeste, sat still as a statue, her lips curving into the faintest, cruelest smile. She had known. Of course she had known. Naomi rose slowly, her legs trembling but her spine straight. She took the microphone from Darren's hand. The hurt, the betrayal, the months of silence and secrets. All of it condensed into a single moment of perfect clarity. You forgot one thing, Darren, she said, her voice calm but cutting through the heavy air. That condo you're throwing me out of? My parents gave it to me. You never owned a single brick of it. A murmur spread. Darren's confident smirk wavered. And before he could speak, Naomi set down the microphone and walked out, her heels clicking like thunder on marble floors. 2 weeks earlier it had all begun with whispers in the night. Naomi woke one morning at 3 a.m. to Darren's voice behind the bedroom door. He was speaking softly, urgently. We have to do this right, he whispered. She won't suspect a thing. Of course not, son, came Celeste's voice on the line. You just make sure it looks perfect. Naomi froze in the dark, her heart hammering. The sound of their plotting felt like a knife pressing against her chest. She closed her eyes as he returned to bed, pretending to be asleep while he slipped under the covers, smelling of cologne she didn't recognize. The next morning he was uncharacteristically affectionate. Naomi, my love, he said, kissing her cheek. How about we pick a restaurant for our anniversary? I want everything to be perfect. Perfect. The word twisted in her stomach. For 25 years he had never cared about anniversaries. He'd complain about the cost of candles. But now he wanted perfect. When he left for work he forgot his phone on the nightstand. A small notification glowed on the screen. Call S at 11 a.m. Naomi's throat tightened. Later, as she watered the plants, she asked lightly, Who's S? Darren spun around too quickly, his left eye twitching. Sanchez. From Seattle. A colleague. Why? She knew that twitch. His Tellson's college. And suddenly, all the little things she'd ignored started to make sense. The cracks in the mirror. Celeste arrived later that afternoon, uninvited, with her usual frost-covered smile. Naomi, dear, she said, stepping in. How's the party planning coming along? Darren wants to celebrate at a restaurant, Naomi replied. Wonderful. Much more dignified than hosting at home. Celeste's eyes scanned the living room, silently judging the furniture she had never liked. By the way, she added, Darren's not so young anymore. You two should think about wills, for the grandchildren. Naomi stared at her. We don't have children, Celeste. Oh, of course, but I was thinking about my nephews. Good boys. It would be a shame if the government got everything. Her tone was light, but her eyes were sharp. Then came the real question, and where do you keep the condo papers? That was when Naomi knew. They were preparing something. The discovery that night, she tried Darren's computer. His old password, their anniversary date, no longer worked. Her pulse quickened. He tried again in reverse. The screen unlocked. And there it was, a list of search histories. How to divorce when assets are shared. Legal tricks for keeping property. How to make a spouse sign over ownership. Her world tilted. The man she had loved since college was planning to erase her life as neatly as deleting a file. Then her phone rang. It was her friend Candace. Naomi, I saw Darren today at a jeweler's. With some blonde girl. They were looking at rings. Naomi's hands went cold. Did she look young? She asked quietly. Maybe 30. Pretty. The kind who knows it. Naomi hung up and stared at the empty space where Darren usually sat. The silence of the condo felt like it was mocking her. A friend's advice: the next day she met with her old college friend Aisha, now a lawyer. Naomi told her everything, the whispers, the lies, the searches. Aisha listened silently, then said, "Naomi, they're setting you up. They want you desperate so you'll sign something you shouldn't. Don't react. Gather proof. Move some money to your own account. And act like you know nothing." Naomi nodded slowly. For the first time in weeks she felt steady. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't thank me," Aisha said. "Just promise me you'll fight back." The trap tightens when Naomi came home that evening. Darren was by the mirror adjusting his tie. "You look tired," he said without looking at her. "You've let yourself go, Naomi. Maybe try the gym? You're still beautiful, just older." She stood silently, holding her breath. That wasn't concern, it was rehearsal. He was building the story he would tell others. The poor husband who had outgrown his aging wife. Later, while he showered, she checked their joint bank account. $30,000 gone, paid to Hayes and Associates, and a luxury jewelry store. They were using her own money to fund her humiliation. But she wasn't helpless. She had her own secret now. A week earlier, a letter had arrived from Germany. Her late Aunt Josephine had left her everything. A condo in Munich, a bank account worth $500,000, and another property in Miami. Over $3 million in total. Naomi hadn't told Darren yet. She had planned to surprise him on their anniversary. Now it would be her lifeline. The truth about the condo: on Monday, she met with Mr. Perry, the lawyer who had helped them buy their Georgetown condo years ago. "Do you remember where the purchase funds came from?" she asked. He flipped through old files. "Yes, your parents' account. It was a premarital gift to you. Darren was added to the title later." Naomi exhaled for the first time in days. "So legally it's mine?" "Formally, yes," he said. "He'd have no claim unless he can prove major investment." "He never spent a dime," Naomi said, smiling faintly. "Can you prepare confirmation papers?" "Of course. Pick them up tomorrow." As she left, the autumn wind brushed her face. She felt alive again, no longer the fragile woman he had underestimated. The final plan that evening, Darren called, his voice dripping with fake affection. "Naomi, my love, let's celebrate big. Our silver anniversary at the Watergate Hotel. 100 guests. I've invited everyone important." She nearly laughed. He wanted an audience for her humiliation. "That's expensive," she said quietly. "Don't worry," he replied quickly. "The money's there. It'll be a night to remember." "Oh," Naomi whispered. "It will." The next day, Celeste came with an envelope. "From me to you," she said sweetly. Inside was a business card. "Mr. Hayes, divorce attorney. Just in case, dear. You never know." Naomi smiled. "You're right, Celeste. You never know." The night of the party, the ballroom glowed with silver light, laughter, and music. Darren basked in it all, shaking hands, hugging guests, pretending to be the devoted husband. Naomi stood beside him, radiant in a silver gown. Her calmness unsettled him. He didn't know she'd already secured the condo, transferred her inheritance, and prepared documents with her lawyer. When the toast came, Darren clinked his glass. "Hi friends," he began. "Tonight marks 25 wonderful years. But sometimes love changes. Naomi and I." She took the microphone from his hand before he could finish. Her voice was steady, clear. "Yes, love changes," she said softly. "Sometimes it fades, sometimes it transforms. And sometimes, it reveals what was hiding underneath all along." A murmur filled the hall. Celeste's eyes narrowed. "Darren wanted to make an announcement tonight," Naomi continued. "But so do I." She turned toward the crowd. 25 years ago, I married a man who promised me loyalty. Tonight, he promised another woman a condo that doesn't belong to him. He planned to humiliate me here in front of you all." Gasps erupted. Darren's face went pale. "Naomi, what? I have all the messages, Darren. Every one you sent to Sierra. Every call to your mother. And every payment to your lawyer, made with my money." She held up her phone, the evidence glowing on the screen. "You wanted to throw me out of my own home," she said, voice breaking. "But you forgot one thing. My parents bought that home. It was never yours to give away." The room fell silent. Darren's jaw tightened. Celeste's hand trembled around her glass. Naomi smiled sadly. You wanted to see me weak tonight. Instead, I want you to see me free. She placed her wedding ring on the table. Happy anniversary, Darren. Then she turned and walked out, head high, tears glimmering like silver under the chandelier's light. Epilogue. Weeks later, Naomi sat in her new apartment overlooking the Potomac, sunlight spilling through the windows. Her lawyer's papers were in order. The condo was solely hers, the divorce finalized, her inheritance safely transferred. Her phone buzzed. A message from Aisha. You okay? Naomi smiled. Better than okay. For the first time I can breathe. Outside, autumn leaves swirled, gold and quiet. 25 years had ended not with despair but with rebirth. The woman who had once lived in Darren's shadow now walked in her own light. And somewhere, in a grand house filled with silence, Darren Price was learning what it meant to lose the one person who had truly loved him. Naomi Sterling had always believed that love could survive anything. For 25 years she had stood beside Darren Price, through the long nights, the quiet dinners, the storms that life inevitably brought. She believed they were unshakable. But one evening, while folding laundry in their warm suburban home, she found something that tore her world apart. A message on his phone, short and cruelly simple. It's being practical. 25 years was enough. I deserve to be happy too, even if it's at her expense. Her hands trembled. The words felt like shards of glass cutting through her heart. She didn't need to ask who her was. Naomi had seen the way Darren smiled at Sierra, his new marketing assistant. She had ignored the whispers, the late nights, the business trips. But seeing those words made everything real. That night, she lay awake beside the man who had vowed to love her forever, listening to the even rhythm of his breathing. He slept peacefully, unaware that his wife was quietly rebuilding herself from the ashes of heartbreak. By dawn, Naomi had made her decision. She wasn't going to beg, cry, or cling. She was going to take her life back, piece by piece. The next morning, she put on her best navy suit, brushed her hair, and walked out of the house without a word. Her first stop was the bank. She opened a personal account and transferred half of the savings. If Darren wanted to spend money on his mistress, he could do it with his share, not hers. Then she went to her lawyer. I need the document confirming the condo was mine before the marriage, she said. Her voice was calm, steady. The lawyer handed her the file, unaware of the war quietly unfolding behind her soft eyes. At work, Naomi walked into her boss's office. Mr. Budrow, I might be facing a difficult personal phase soon, she admitted. He frowned. Divorce. Naomi gave a small smile. Something like that. Naomi, whatever happens, you have my full support. You're the best controller this company has ever had. She nodded. That simple sentence felt like the first drop of rain after a long drought. Someone still valued her. That night, while Darren claimed to have another late meeting, Naomi opened a small fireproof safe and pulled out her inheritance papers from Aunt Josephine in Germany. A condo in Munich. Another in Miami Beach. Over $1 million in cash. Her aunt had left her not just wealth, but freedom. As Naomi ran her fingers over the embossed paper, a calm determination filled her chest. Darren thought tomorrow's anniversary would be his moment of victory. But the stage he had built for her humiliation would become his undoing. The next day was Thursday, the day of the anniversary. Naomi went to the German consulate early, finalizing her inheritance. When the consul handed her the documents confirming her ownership of the properties, she felt lighter than she had in years. You can dispose of everything as you wish, Mrs. Sterling, the consul said kindly. Naomi smiled. Thank you. I already know what I'm going to do. She now owned 3 properties over $1 million and, most precious of all, her freedom. But fate had one more cruel twist waiting outside the Watergate Hotel. As she arrived to check the final arrangements for the anniversary party, Naomi spotted a young blonde woman standing by the entrance, speaking sweetly on the phone. Dee, my love, it's incredible, Sierra giggled. The ballroom is perfect. Tomorrow will be magical. After your speech, she'll understand everything and I'll be there as your new assistant. Romantic, right? Naomi froze. The audacity. The sheer arrogance of it. Sierra's tone was sugary, but her eyes were empty. The eyes of someone who had never known love, only greed. Excuse me, Naomi said softly, approaching. Do you know where the manager is? Sierra turned, glancing at her like she was invisible. No idea. I don't work here. Then into her phone, some lady's bothering me. Naomi's lips curved into a faint smile. Some lady. Tomorrow that lady would ruin every illusion they'd built. Inside, the manager greeted Naomi warmly. Everything's ready, Mrs. Price. Ballroom for 100 guests, fine dining, live orchestra. The total came to $45,000. Your husband requested the best of the best. Naomi's stomach tightened. $45,000. To humiliate me in public. Wonderful, she said with perfect poise. I just want everything to be unforgettable. That night, Darren was in his study rehearsing. Naomi listened quietly from the doorway. Dear friends, 25 years ago I made a choice that seemed right. But life changes. People change. Sometimes you have to have the courage to admit your mistakes. Mistakes. That's what 25 years of loyalty had become, a mistake. Naomi returned to the bedroom and packed her folder. Her inheritance, her ownership documents, her financial independence. Tomorrow she would expose not just a man's betrayal but his arrogance. When morning came, Darren whistled as he knotted his tie. Naomi, he said cheerfully, today is a great day. Our lives are about to change. Yes, she replied softly. Completely. He looked at her reflection in the mirror. You'll be surprised. Oh, I know I will, she whispered. The ballroom sparkled that evening. Golden chandeliers, crystal glasses, the soft hum of conversation. Naomi walked in wearing a dark blue gown. Her heart pounded, but her face was calm, almost serene. Guests congratulated them, unaware of the storm about to break. At the back of the room stood Sierra, dressed in silk, pretending to be just an assistant. Darren's mother, Celeste, glided from table to table, glowing with pride. When the master of ceremonies tapped the microphone, silence fell. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Darren Price would like to say a few words in honor of his wife. Naomi felt her stomach twist. This was it. Darren stood tall and confident, smiling that politician's smile he wore when lying. Friends, thank you for being here tonight. 25 years. That's no small feat, but life is about truth. And the truth is, people change. What once felt right may turn out to be a mistake. A ripple of confusion spread through the crowd. Naomi sat still, hands folded. For 25 years I've lived with a woman who no longer fits who I am. A gray, dull woman who doesn't understand what a successful man needs. Gasps. A glass shattered somewhere. His boss, Mr. Budrow, frowned deeply. Naomi's lips trembled, not from weakness but from the effort to keep her composure. I'm filing for divorce, Darren declared. Naomi will receive what's fair. I deserve happiness and I've found it. His gaze drifted toward Sierra. The guests turned. Whispers rose like a wave. That was enough. Naomi stood. Her calm presence silenced the room faster than any microphone could. She took the mic from his stunned hand. Thank you, Darren, she said softly. That was very honest. And since we're sharing truths tonight, allow me to tell mine. The crowd leaned forward. Darren froze. This wasn't part of his plan. You see, I've known about this little performance for 3 weeks, Naomi continued. I know about Sierra. About your lawyer, Mr. Hayes, who's right over there trying to disappear. And about the plan to make me sign away my rights. All eyes turned toward the lawyer in the corner. He turned pale and tried to slip out, but the guests blocked his way. There's just one problem, Naomi said, her voice steady. That condo you wanted me to give up? It's mine. A gift from my parents before our marriage. I have the legal deed right here. She opened her folder. Darren's face drained of color. And just so we're clear, I recently inherited 2 more condos and over $1 million from my aunt in Germany. So, when you talk about dividing assets, what exactly are you dividing, Darren? Half of your car? Half of your pride? The crowd erupted, gasps, whispers, disbelief. Sierra's face turned ghostly white. Naomi wasn't done. Do you know how much Darren spent on tonight's performance? $45,000, from our joint account. But don't worry, everyone, she said with a smile. He can afford it. He's free now, free to live wherever he wants. Just not in my home. Wait, Darren whispered. Naomi, please, there's nothing to talk about, she cut in. I'll file for divorce tomorrow. Hayes, you're dismissed. She turned to the crowd, her voice soft but unshakable. I apologize for this scene, but sometimes the truth must be louder than appearances. Thank you for coming. Now you know who's who. Naomi placed the microphone down, lifted her chin and walked out, heels clicking against marble, her blue gown flowing behind her like a banner of dignity. Behind her, chaos exploded. Guests shouted. Someone called Darren a monster. Mr. Budrow told him coldly, after tonight, you no longer represent this company. Sierra tried to flee, but furious guests surrounded her. So you're the mistress? Someone hissed. How could you destroy another woman's life? Darren's mother sobbed. Dee, what have you done? And then Sierra screamed, he lied to me. He said he'd give me a condo that he took out loans for us. Phones recorded. People gasped. Even Naomi, standing outside, could hear the chaos unraveling. Through the tall glass doors she saw her husband, pale, lost, humiliated. The man who once controlled every room was now drowning in his own lies. Naomi stepped into the night air. The city lights shimmered around her like silent witnesses. For the first time in decades she felt free, truly free. She took one last look at the hotel, smiled faintly and whispered to herself, Happy anniversary, Darren. Then she turned and walked toward her new life. The ballroom had fallen into uneasy silence. A moment earlier it had been full of laughter, music and glittering lights. But now, after Naomi's revelation, everything shimmered with tension. Guests whispered, recording on their phones, trying to make sense of what they had just witnessed. Darren Price, once the picture of confidence, stood pale and trembling beside the microphone. His wife, the woman he had humiliated, had walked away with quiet dignity, leaving truth in her wake like a storm that stripped every lie bare. For a long moment no one spoke. Then Naomi's cousin Dwayne broke the silence. Good thing Naomi found out in time, he said sharply. Otherwise, you'd have fooled her whole life. Several heads nodded. Someone else, a younger guest with a phone in hand, added, we should upload this. Let everyone know who Darren Price really is. Yes, another agreed. We have to trend it. #SilverAnniversaryTrader. No, wait, Darren pleaded, his voice shaking. Don't do that. This is my private life. Private? Sierra, the mistress, laughed bitterly. You humiliated your wife in front of 100 people, Darren. And now you care about privacy? A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. One by one, people began to gather their things. Naomi's relatives were the first to leave, walking out without even glancing at him. Her co-workers followed, their faces hard and disappointed. A colleague brushed past him, muttering, After tonight, Darren, don't even say you know me. What a shame for your family, a neighbor said. How are you going to face people now? Another man, blunt and disgusted, stopped by him and said, You're trash. You treated your wife like a joke in front of everyone. Now the joke's on you. The doors closed behind the last of the guests. Within half an hour, the grand ballroom was nearly empty. The glittering decorations now looked cheap under the dimmed lights. The only people left were Darren, his mother Celeste, Sierra, and a few waiters pretending to tidy up while stealing curious glances. Sierra sighed, adjusting her hair. So what now, Dee? You got any money left? Where from? He groaned, sinking into a chair. I spent it all. On the party, on your gifts, on loans I can't repay. I don't even know who'll cover them now. Maybe you can sell the car, she suggested flatly. The car. Darren gave a hollow laugh. That won't even touch the debt. Sierra crossed her arms, her patience gone. And what about me, Darren? I left my ex for you. You promised me security, a future. He rubbed his temples. I don't know, Sierra. I don't know what to do. Celeste Price, his mother, sat slumped in a corner chair, her face buried in her hands. Her diamond earrings glimmered faintly under the fading light. And what am I supposed to tell Hayes? She whispered. He charged me for every consultation and I even put my house up as collateral. Mom, Darren said softly, walking toward her. We'll find a solution. A solution? She lifted her head, her eyes red and swollen. I'm in my 70s, Darren. I'm about to lose my home because of your foolishness. Sierra stood abruptly, grabbing her purse. You know what? She said coldly. I'm done. You two are hopeless. She paused at the door, looking at him with an expression somewhere between pity and disgust. Don't ever call me again. And the money you owe me for the last 3 months? Forget it. Consider it payment for this life lesson. Then with a half-smile she added, your wife is one badass woman, Darren. It's a shame I only met the real her tonight. She's the kind of woman who deserves respect. Her heels clicked sharply against the marble as she left, and the sound echoed through the empty room long after she was gone. Darren sank into a chair, his mother beside him, surrounded by half-eaten plates and overturned glasses. Celeste spoke softly, almost to herself. What if it's not too late? What if we go see Naomi? Ask for forgiveness? Darren shook his head slowly. His eyes were hollow. It's too late, Mom. You saw her face. She'll never forgive me. Then what are we going to do? I don't know, he whispered, the words heavy with defeat. I swear I don't know. Outside, in the soft glow of the city lights, Naomi sat quietly in the back of a taxi. The night air carried the hum of traffic, laughter from distant bars, and the faint rhythm of her own heart beginning to steady. In her purse lay the documents to 3 properties and a bank statement showing over $1 million. Freedom written in ink and paper. The taxi driver, an older man with kind eyes, caught her gaze in the rearview mirror. Beautiful night, isn't it? Naomi smiled faintly. Yes. Very beautiful. You could say, it changed my life. He chuckled. Some nights just do that. That's exactly right, she murmured. Everything changed. And indeed everything had. 3 months later, Naomi sat in a courtroom, calm and composed. In front of her, Darren looked like a ghost of the man she'd once married. His hair was streaked with gray, his face lined and tired. Gone was the expensive suit, replaced by something cheap and wrinkled. The judge, an elderly woman with sharp eyes behind her glasses, reviewed the papers. Very well, she said finally. The court finds that the condo on M Street in Georgetown is the separate premarital property of Mrs. Naomi Sterling and is not subject to division. Darren's eyes widened in panic. His new lawyer, not Hayes anymore but a young public defender, simply sighed and rubbed his forehead. The cabin property, the judge continued, is considered marital property and will be divided equally. The same applies to the Lexus ES 300. Your Honor, the lawyer protested, my client used that car for work. Denied, she interrupted coolly. The car was purchased with shared marital funds. Naomi sat silently beside her attorney Aisha, who smiled discreetly. Everything was unfolding just as planned. Furthermore, the judge went on, it has been proven that Mr. Price concealed several debts from his spouse. A $20,000 loan at Chase Bank, $15,000 at Wells Fargo, and an $8,000 quick loan. These debts total $43,000. The lawyer stood again, desperate. But those are his personal debts. The judge didn't even look up. According to Family Code Section 39, debts incurred during the marriage are joint responsibility. However, since these funds were not used for the family's welfare, but for personal indulgence, Mr. Price shall bear full responsibility for repayment. Darren's shoulders sagged. His skin seemed almost gray now. This court hereby dissolves the marriage between Darren Price and Naomi Sterling, the judge declared. Mrs. Sterling retains her property and bank accounts. Mr. Price retains half the cabin's value and half the car's value. No alimony shall be awarded. The gavel struck, sharp and final, the sound of 25 years ending. Outside the courthouse, Naomi felt light. The air tasted new. Naomi. Darren called after her. He ran down the steps, clutching a worn folder. Wait. She turned, calm as ever. What is it, Darren? He hesitated, searching for words. Forgive me, he said at last. I was a fool. Selfish. You didn't deserve what I did to you. She looked at him, not with hatred but with something gentler, colder. Understanding. Darren, she said quietly, I don't hold grudges. But we're different people. You wanted an easy life at others' expense. I learned to fight for what's mine. He swallowed. Could we, at least stay friends? No, she replied softly but firmly. It's better if we both move on. She turned, walked to her car, a sleek new Audi she'd bought with part of her inheritance, and never looked back. A month after the divorce, Darren lost his job. The video of the anniversary went viral, shared thousands of times. #SilverAnniversaryTrader trended for days. When he walked into the office, his boss looked at him with pity. "Darren, I can't have you here. You're good at your job, but your reputation is ruined." He pleaded, "Please, I can change." But the boss just shook his head. "I'm sorry. It's over." He tried finding other work, but every interview ended the same way. Faces of polite rejection. Whispered recognition. Pity. Eventually, he sold his luxury car and bought back his old Toyota Camry from Naomi for $15,000, half its worth. It was all he had left. Now, Darren drove through the city nights as a taxi driver, counting small fares, avoiding eye contact in the rearview mirror. He lived with his mother in a cramped one-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of town. Celeste had sold her grand house to pay debts. "Dee," she would say quietly each night, "don't you wish you'd listened to me? Never gotten involved with that woman?" He would sigh. "It's too late, Mom. Too late for regrets." Sierra, meanwhile, had landed on her feet. 2 months after the scandal, she married a wealthy restaurant owner 20 years her senior. The wedding photos sparkled with luxury, diamonds, golden decor, and her smiling face under a caption that read, "Finally found true love. #happy #new life." When Darren saw the post, he laughed bitterly. He got what she wanted. Just not from me. As for Naomi, her life had blossomed. She moved into her late aunt's seaside condo in Miami Beach. Sunlight, ocean breeze, and peace. No more counting spreadsheets. With her inheritance, she opened a small publishing house specializing in translated European literature. Her lifelong dream. When she handed in her resignation, her boss, Mr. Budrow, looked genuinely sad. "Naomi, are you sure? We'll miss you." "Thank you," she said, smiling. "But it's time I live for something I love." He nodded. "After what you went through, you've become an inspiration to the women here. A reminder that strength isn't loud, it's quiet and firm." Later, her lawyer and friend Aisha visited her in Miami. They sat on the balcony, sipping tea as the sunset painted the sea in gold. "You look peaceful," Aisha said. "Do you feel avenged?" Naomi smiled thoughtfully. "Not avenged, relieved. I didn't destroy him. He destroyed himself. I just defended my rights. The truth always wins, even if it takes time." "Do you regret those 25 years?" She shook her head. "No. They taught me the most important lesson, to value honesty and to never lose myself in loving someone else." Her small publishing house flourished. She hired 5 young translators and published elegant limited edition books. One of her editors, a bright young woman, once said, "My mom told me she was at that anniversary. She said there are few women like you." Naomi smiled gently. "I'm not strong. I just decided not to be a victim." A year later, a letter arrived. The handwriting was unmistakable. "Naomi, I don't know if you'll read this. I just want to say I understand now. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I lost you because I was foolish. I don't ask for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. Be happy. You deserve it." Darren * Naomi read it once, folded it neatly and placed it in a drawer. No tears, no anger, just closure. That night, she stood on her terrace overlooking the ocean. The city lights sparkled, music drifted through the warm air, and for the first time in decades she felt completely whole. The waves whispered below, soft and endless, and Naomi smiled. She had lost everything once and gained herself in return. And sometimes that's the most beautiful ending of all.